And welcome back. Well, the batter's box can be a frustrating place for a young hitter, but it doesn't have to be. Trevor Lawhorn gives us some keys to corrections for 3 of the most common mistakes in this week's Diamond Tips.
Well, welcome to another edition of Diamond Tips. Today joined by Trevor Lawhorn of the South Dakota Baseball Academy. And talking about the South Dakota Baseball Academy, we've talked a lot about doing lessons, but you also do team rentals, right?
Yes, we do. We have 4,000 square foot building that both cages pull back, and we have an open area, and we do rent it out to teams. Any ages from kids to 6 to 18-year-old teams, even softball teams come in and they come in here and swing it if they want to.
All right, good or bad weather, you can always get in here. They've got the pitching machine, so it's a nice place to get some practice. And today, speaking of practice, we're going to work on a few things that young hitters typically get wrong in their swing, and we're going to maybe look for a few corrections in the swing. So start us off. What's a typical mistake that you see young players make?
A lot of times, young kids, they don't have really good balance. When they're swinging, they're hitting on their heels when they should be hitting on their balls of their feet. And we got a couple of things that we can do to correct that. And also, they like to lunge at the ball. When you're lunging and you're seeing a fastball, you're going towards it with your head, which is making it look harder instead of staying back on your back leg and letting the ball travel to you and seeing it a lot longer. And the last thing would be, stepping out. When you get a lot of kids that are young age, kind of scared of the baseball, and the first thing they want to do is take that front leg out and go towards third or first, depending on left or right-handed. And we got some drills to do, to show how to correct that.
All right, well, let's look at some corrections. The first drill we're going to do today is?
We're going to stand on the balance board. We're going to be on the balls of our feet is where you want to hit on, and not the heels, and I'll show you the wrong thing to do and then the way to fix it. Okay, well, we're going to put our handy-dandy balance board under your feet, and what you want to do is stay on the balls of your feet so your heels are hanging off of the board. And then you go through your load, stride, and swing like we talked about a couple weeks ago, and you swing and you're rotating on the balance board, and if you fall backwards, you're still on your heels. If you fall forward, that's okay. That means you are on the balls of your feet.
So one of the second common mistakes is lunging into the pitch like you talked about. What can we do to correct that?
Well, it's a kind of a tough thing to correct because a lot of the times it's just kids really want to go towards the baseball. But we have we got a couple of long sticks, and when I go forward, my hip hits it. That means I'm lunging at the baseball. If I stay back and I rotate on my back leg and it doesn't hit it, that's a good correction, a good drill to do to hold yourself back instead of not trying to see yourself from not hitting that board or fungo.
All right, now the last one, I've seen hitters do this all the time. They try to step out, try to bail out a little bit on the pitch. And by the way, these are all drills anybody can do at home as well. So today we're going to use a bat to try to correct that, right?
Yes, a lot of kids, when they get scared of the ball, they kind of step out and, they don't want to have anything to do with it. And that's one of the main things that everyone does. And the best way to get out of it is to put a baseball bat right behind your foot, and that'll keep you from stepping out unless you want a rolled ankle. And, that's not going to be any fun. The 3 main points are, being balanced hitting. You don't want to be on your heels, and then the second one would be lunging towards the baseball. You want to stay back and let the ball come to you. And the last one would be stepping out, and you want to make sure that your foot is going towards the pitcher and not out towards third or first, barring left-handed or right-handed hitting.
Well, thanks for the expert advice, as always, Trevor. Diamond Tips has been a fun segment to do here on Varsity Sports Now, and every Thursday night you can catch more Diamond Tips from experts like Trevor. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.